Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today. I have loved getting your messages recently. So shout out to Sig, who shares that she binge listens like a week's worth when she walks the dogs. But it's kind of challenging as she's stopping every few steps and taking notes. The dog is not impressed. I love that. And also shout out to Julia, who was running a half marathon and has been binging the content as well. Really lovely to hear from you. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts on the show. Today's episode, it is called What I Do When I'm in a Funk. Note, it's not called what to do. Like, I'm not giving you advice on terms of what to do, but this is like exactly what I do when I'm in a funk. So just thought I'd share my approach. This is like the opposite to an episode I shared earlier this year on what I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed. And that overwhelmed episode was really around how I create systems, how I just get things out of my head, how I have a simple Google sheet that just captures everything that I'm in. I feel like I have these two modes from mainly, that run my life. It's like I'm overwhelmed, I've got so much on, and then I'm in a funk because I have space between all of that. No, so maybe isn't a funk, it's maybe when I've got time and I'm really trying to think about things, and often I'm always trying to look for the next thing. So every person in the world will be like, accept where you are, be happy where you are. The thing is, there's something called entropy, right? So wherever you are, so you could have, I love how Jonathan Fields talks about the 3 good life buckets. He talks about connection, vitality, and contribution. So connection is your relationships, how great they are. Vitality is how good you're feeling, your energy levels, how much sleep you're getting, your health, that type of thing. And contribution, could be your work, your contribution to society, your community as well. Now, the thing is, all 3 buckets, when they're full, that's fantastic. You're feeling grateful, you're feeling energized, you're feeling awesome. But like he says, the buckets tend to leak. And so our job is to continually go around and fill up each bucket as we need. And I think it's the same for if you're feeling great now and you have that approach, and I love that that's a mindset thing, but you've got to continue to maintain things or shift things up to keep those buckets full. And so that's what I'm saying. It's not about me going, always being dissatisfied. I'm absolutely never dissatisfied with where I am. I'm always like happy and grateful to be where I am right now, always. But I'm always searching for things that are going to help me maintain it or improve it over time, because that keeps life interesting. One of my friends I met through Jenny Blake, Julie Clow, one of the best quotes she shared was that your resume is a list of things that you don't want to do anymore. And so sure, you can continue doing the same things, but are they going to give you as much joy as they did when you first started? I find that when I conquer something, like when I do something and create something, I just get bored then and I want the next new thing. Now, I could get in trouble here because it's like chasing the bright, shiny object. And yeah, it's exactly what I'm doing. And let me go back to this point around being in a funk. It's usually when I've got some space and some time and I really get to think. And so actually, even as I say that, one book I want to share with you on a podcast is the book, The Road Less Stupid. For that reason, he talks about incorporating thinking time into your schedule every single day. And I don't think I do that enough. And so when I have these moments where there's a bit of space, then all these questions start flying through my mind. And then I think, am I in a funk here? Am I on the right track? And then as I look ahead to mid to end April, ramping up into May, I've just got so much on then that I'm going to be dealing with the overwhelm then. So I'm actually enjoying this time to think about this stuff and also share my approach. So I guess the first thing is, again, and all this stuff is probably not conventional wisdom, and every well-being guru in the world will just tell you that I'm wrong, but this is actually just what helps me. What I'd suggest is stop ruminating on it. Like, okay, spend 10 minutes asking yourself some key questions, like, why do I think I feel this way? Where do I want to be? What is the gap? Why is that happening? Maybe mapping out some reasons, like what am I not seeing? Asking yourself these exploratory questions. And you can do that, I reckon, for like 10 minutes. Do it as part of your morning pages and just, maybe riff on that, but then just contain it. Because the second you start ruminating on things, you are thinking about the past and you cannot do anything about the past. That's when ideas like, maybe I should have done this, or maybe I'm not that type of person, or maybe I've tried this before, it didn't work that way. All those thoughts do not serve you. You cannot change the past. The exciting thing is you absolutely can reposition yourself and change for the future. So I place all my bets, and this is where I spend majority of my time, is thinking ahead. Yes, a bit in the present, but definitely thinking ahead in terms of like, cool, all this interesting stuff is happening, there's opportunities, what can I do about it? So have that rumination time if you need, but then just contain it, put a start timer on it, just stop. And also a few other things to stop. Maybe stop listening to podcasts, maybe switch this off and just get onto things and start taking action and start doing the things. Stop reading books, looking for answers. You're the only one that's going to claw yourself out of this. Sure, you might get an insight, but if you get that insight, an insight is okay, but you actually have to action on the insight, right? So take that action as well. The other thing I would suggest doing is stop listening to the news. What's fascinating about the news is we're hearing things about the stock price and the share price and everything else. But day to day, my life continues to be the same. I go out to get coffees, I go for walks, I connect with people. Everything is still the same. I just think the news can put you in a really terrible state of mind. It can get you really worried. And yes, it's important to know about what's coming ahead and not putting your head in the sand when it comes to technology and disruption of AI and things like that. But if we spend too much time and attention on the news and scrolling our social media feeds, it's going to make us feel even worse. A lot of this is really around protecting your energy, protecting my energy, and making sure that I am feeling good. And so even this morning, I just had the best start to the day. I don't know if you can hear it on this, but just had a great sleep, went for a walk with Chris, got home, did my 45 minutes leg strength workout, which I don't love to do. But I just blasted AC/DC Back in Black. I had that on repeat the whole time. I threw some maybe Bryan Adams in there for a bit just to keep it real. But I just feel unstoppable right now. And that is really about protecting your own energy. The other thing I think people tend to do is they try to find people who are in similar situations or feeling beat up about the future or where they're at, and they have like a lamenting party. Sure, you can do that, but just limit it. Like honestly, have one lamenting party and then move on. What you find is that once you're there, misery favors company. You just think, oh, this is safe and secure. There's no hope for the future. And you'll just be stuck in that rut. Look for opportunities. Look for examples of where people are being successful. And social media is bad for this in terms of comparing yourself. But instead of seeing other people and maybe being envious around what they're up to, just see that as, oh my goodness, there are opportunities out there. That's another case study showing me that it is capable. Like what I want to do, if it's land a job in this great firm, if it's to book more work as a business, like there are so many great opportunities out there. And that's why I love being in a variety of different communities, because I get to see examples, again, on that bell curve of people that are successful. I'm looking for those examples and those wins that people are having as well. And I really do think it's around looking at the future and being optimistic about that, because it's not yet here and you are not a tree. You don't have roots. You can move, you can adapt, you can change. And that is so empowering. So learn, relearn, figure out what might be in demand and put your attention and effort into that. The other thing I'd suggest, and something that I like to do when I'm feeling in a rut, is I like to get rejected. I know, weird, but maybe this is also recency effect. I've been reading Noah Kagan's book, $1 Million Weekend, not as an escapism thing, but just to get some cool practical ideas. And what Noah talks about is something like going to the coffee shop, ordering your coffee and just going, hey, can I get a discount on that? Just pausing and just seeing how they react. And they might say, no, you can't. That's okay. Like, it's okay. And often when we're feeling in a rut, we feel unsafe, we feel vulnerable. And so it's probably, you might be thinking the worst time to put yourself out there. I think it's the best time to put yourself out there, is to actually build that resilience, that rejection muscle, and do that. Also, probably the last thing I'll share is just to get a tangible win, particularly when we're in like the knowledge economy. A lot of us we do intangible things. Like the best thing about having my book is that I actually have a tangible asset for my business. A lot of the stuff I do is like speaking, it's advising, it's intellectual. And I don't really see like a direct result of what I've achieved or anything like that. But just even doing something like washing the clothes and putting them on the line, it's a tangible win. Washing the dog, making them feel really great. Doing the grocery shopping, getting some healthy meals, cooking a really nourishing feed, stuff like that. Just these micro steps. So don't think when you're in a rut, it's not about taking one massive step and you're going to explode out of this hole or gap or whatever you're in. It's just like little incremental things, keeping yourself kind of busy. I know people will say like, lean into it, really think about it, philosophize it. Well, I don't do that. Take some action, take some tiny steps and claw yourself out. Okay. I don't know if this was a kind of like a rant as well, but it's just advice for me to listen back to, especially if I'm ever feeling in a rut in future. Let me know what you thought of this one. I love hearing from you and I'll speak to you tomorrow.